Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, the weekly podcast devoted to all things spirituality and self-improvement. I'm so delighted you're here with me today. Today we're going to be talking about how to really develop those psychic abilities and how to use that right now. I know the energies are just super crazy. We have had so many things happening in our own country and around the world lately. And I know the energies have continued to be crazy. I don't know if you're like me. I've had a hard time sleeping. And then when I do go to sleep and I do get a full night's sleep, I still wake up and I'm exhausted. And I know that it's just because these energies are so intense. So I thought we would talk about how to develop those psychic abilities in order to help you protect yourself energetically from everything that's going on right now. And if you're like me, you really need it right now. Things are so intense. So we're going to get started today talking about that. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I am an intuitive and I also work with people. I'm a healer and a channel. And what does that mean exactly? So for me, what that means is I've always been an empath. I did not know what that was until probably 8 years ago. I went through what I would call my spiritual awakening, a major one. I'm sure I went through one before, but I didn't know what it was. This is the first time that I actually had words to go along with what it was. Everyone always, my whole life, told me that I was too sensitive, and I would always pick up on when people were mad or unhappy or just that something was off, or maybe if they weren't telling the truth. And it would annoy everyone around me, and I always got told, "You're being way too sensitive." And actually, that is the truth. I was sensitive to energy. And energy doesn't lie. People can lie to your face, but their energy does not lie. And energy walks into the room before people do. And so if you've ever felt like, oh, I didn't like that person. I don't know why I don't like that person. I just don't. You felt the energy of that person being off. You can feel the energy of situations, like everything carries energy. And we read that. And most of you who are listening are probably empaths as well. But I know for myself, I did not have the vocabulary to know what was going on. I just knew that certain situations made me uncomfortable. I'm not a huge fan of large crowds. That can be overwhelming. Even just like going out and being social is overwhelming. I still try to do it. I still like being around people, but I've also learned how to turn it off a little bit. And when I say that, I don't really mean turn it off. What I mean is shield myself, I guess. I've learned how to shield myself. So if you're an empath, what it means again is that you're extra sensitive to energy. And you're probably also really in tune with your intuition. I know sometimes we think we're not, but really we are in tune with it. It's just sometimes we don't listen to that inner voice, right? We all have that inner GPS that tells us, okay, don't go there, or don't take that job, or yes, take that job. We have that inner knowing, but then the brain takes over, and the brain's role is to keep us safe. And it worked when we were kids, right? Like, don't touch that outlet, or don't drive that fast, or put your seatbelt on. It was trying to keep us safe. Now, as adults, sometimes fear takes over and we override our intuition with our mind and that overthinking. And so that causes us to make decisions that aren't necessarily in our best interests. And right now, with so much going on and we're seeing so many things happening in the world, it's scary. And so that fear might be really shifting into high gear and taking over, especially because if you're an empath, you have the ability to empathize with people who right now are not being treated fairly. And we're seeing that everywhere. And that can be super frustrating. It can be scary. I mean, there's so many different emotions you might be feeling right now. So how do we really tap into our psychic abilities in order to calm ourselves down? And that you may be thinking, well, why do we want to heighten that if we're already feeling that? what I mean by that is when we tap into our psychic abilities, we're able to see the big picture sometimes. For me, when I channel, what I do is I sit in stillness and I just ask for messages to come through. And the way that I started doing this was through automatic writing. I would just find a quiet place. For me, I always set my crystals and everything around me just because I like to have that space. I might clear the energy first by, you know, burning a little sage or Palo Santo. You don't have to do that. Those are just things that I like to do sometimes. And then I just set the intention that I'm going to sit in stillness and I'm just going to see what comes. You can ask specific questions, but when I first started this, I wasn't looking for anything specific. I just wanted to receive messages. So I would just start writing as things popped into my head. And at first, in my own personal experience, it just came in like thoughts, but I knew they were not my own thoughts. I don't really know how to explain that except one way maybe that I could explain it is there were times in my life where solutions would come to problems and I'm like, that did not come from me. I'm not smart enough to have thought of that solution to that problem. So I think that is when we're getting guidance and if we're open to receiving it. So when I would sit down and do the automatic writing, I would just read back, what came to me. And that's how I started. Then I would ask questions. I to have specific guidance for X, Y, or Z, whatever questions you want to ask and see, what comes up. And then I would do that. A big part of tapping into your psychic abilities, honestly, is learning how to slow down. And for humans, that's not an easy thing because we're like, go, 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 go. Life is so fast paced, right? We're just always distracted by things. We're distracted by the phone. We're distracted by, the TV we watch. We're distracted by the world going on around us, the news, politics. We're distracted by our family life. There's always something to do. And part of tapping into your psychic intuition and your ability is learning how to be able to take time out to slow down. Because when we're in that fast paced go, 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 our energy is all over the place. We have a much harder time receiving. And I can compare it to you in this way. I'm a teacher and our students have they have phones, right? They have their cell phones. And they really believe that they can listen to what we're doing and teaching and be on their phone at the same time. And it doesn't work, right? Like a little bit might come through, but for the most part, they're not really retaining the material that we're teaching because in order to do that, you have to hear it and you have to do something with it and you have to spit it back out, right? Like it's okay, it's processed, it's stored then in my long term. It doesn't ever really get stored in long term because the attention span is just not there. So it goes into short term and like they might remember it for a day or so or whatever, and then it's just like gone. That's not great for learning, right? It's not great for learning long term. And in the same way, when your attention is here, there, everywhere, you don't have the ability either to be a clear and open channel. And I realize there are a lot of things that you have to do in life. You can't just completely shut it down all the time. That's impossible. And I know that. But it is possible to take time here and there and to say, okay, I'm going to take specific time to slow down, to sit in stillness, to do this, to do that. One great way is meditation. And I know as I'm saying that, some of you are out there rolling your eyes because I get it. If you have ever struggled with ADHD or anything, you think sitting and just listening and not doing anything for a period of time can be torturous. And I get that. Meditation isn't for everybody. You have to find what works for you, but that is one way to slow down. But here's another way. If you are not that type of person, you're like, I don't want to sit in stillness. I don't want to, even a guided meditation, I don't want to do that. Walking in nature is another form of meditation. And I used to do this all the time. And I found that this was a great way for me because I do have one of those brains that's like, well, it's going a million miles a minute, and it's hard for me sometimes to focus on one thing here and there. And so for me, walking was very meditative. I would just put some music on, and then I found that as I was walking, I had this internal dialogue going on. And what I realized too is that I was not just having an internal dialogue myself, but that I was also kind of receiving information and guidance without really realizing it. It would be like I would have this problem, I'd go on a walk, and all of a sudden by the end of it, it was like, oh, I have a solution. That wasn't a coincidence, right? I was receiving guidance, but not realizing it because I didn't realize that walking is kind of a form of meditation. Listening to music is a form of meditation. Just going out and sitting outside in nature and looking at the flowers and watching the bees, watching the butterflies, that is all forms, those are forms of meditation because it's causing you to slow down and to take your attention and kind of bring it inward. And that's really the first part, is going inward. Journaling is another great way. Like I said, I started with the automatic writing. There is a journal that I have that I developed, and you can find it on my website. And it's an online journal that gives you some prompts to help you kind of tap into how you can live your best life. Like, what are some things you can do to help you heal and just to help you explore that going inward and saying to yourself, what is it that I really want in life? What's blocking me? What can I do here? And it's sort of a way to also develop those skills for yourself. So that meditative journal, it's online, and I think it's the 60-day transformational journal, but it's on my website. I developed it a few years ago, and that's a really great way to tap into those abilities too, is through writing. And this is another one where I know I see some people out there going, I don't like writing. I understand. You don't even have to write. I mean, we have our phones, right? You can use your phone. You can just turn on the memo part on your phone and speak into your phone. I mean, that's another way. It doesn't necessarily have to be with pen and paper. I do feel like when you use pen and paper, there has been research that shows that I think there's a part of your brain that really benefits more when you use the pen and the paper. But you don't have to. You can use the voice memo. You can just talk out loud. The point is to do these exercises that allow you to slow down, take time. When you connect with your intuition, with your abilities, you have the ability to not panic over the things that are happening. And yeah, I mean, it's a human response. We are going to panic. But ultimately, we see the bigger picture. And I know, like, some of the things that I have been getting about what's going on is not to panic. We are going to see things that look scary, but not to panic, because this has to happen. The reason it has to happen is because the systems that we've had in place for a long time are broken. They're not working anymore. And we can see that, right? We see that, at least in the US, we don't have good health care. I mean, we go bankrupt sometimes. You know, I can tell you myself, my daughter went to the hospital for a sprained ankle, and we had a $700 bill. That was after insurance. And we were making payments, right? Like, and they immediately sent it to collections. The hospital did. And my sister had the same issue. She had a procedure done and she had a big bill, and immediately it was like to collections. Like, what? That's our healthcare system. It's ridiculous. We have students. My daughter is in college right now. She has to take out so much in student loans because our system is broken. It's not working anymore. It's not working for the people. And so we're trying to fix that. But in order to fix it, you have to get rid of what isn't working. Well, there's still people out there who think that everything's just fine and dandy, and they're not really waking up. This is the process of them waking up and seeing, like, hey, this is not a great system. It's only good for the 1% or people who have a lot of money. It's not great for middle and lower class people. And so we need to change how this system is working. So in order to do that, we have to get rid of the old. And that's what's happening. It's breaking down. But as any part of life, and you've heard me if you follow me talk about this, it's scary to watch the breaking down of the old and sometimes heartbreaking. You know, you've been in relationships, I know, and you're like, this isn't working. And yet when it goes away, when you have to break up with the person or they break up with you or whatever, it's heartbreaking. You're like, oh man, you're so disheartened. But what you're disheartened at is that you wanted it to work and it didn't. So what you wanted to happen didn't happen, and it's disappointing. But for some of you, maybe you went on to a new relationship and you're like, oh my God, this was even better than what I had hoped for with that last relationship because I didn't even know how good it could be. That's what's coming. And we have to have faith in the universe, even though we might be seeing things around us. We're like, how's this ever going to get better? It is. And you have to have faith. And so that's why enhancing or trying to open up to your psychic abilities is going to help, because it's going to take all of us as a collective trying to anchor in this new energy, this light energy. We're light workers. We came to heal the collective. This was not an easy task. The universe, when we were on the other side, they said, who wants to come here and save humanity? And we're like, yeah, that sounds awesome. And we got here and we're like, oh, this isn't so awesome. It's a hard job. It's not easy, but the reward will be worth it. And it's going to get better, but we have to keep ourselves grounded and stand up for those who don't have a voice. And to do all of that, it's very, very tough, which is why tapping into your abilities and learning how to shield yourself from the fear that wants to come in is so important. Okay, you have to remember that this was supposed to happen. This has to happen. So if you can tap into those abilities to say to yourself, and this is where me working with the universe has been super helpful, because when I get afraid, I stop and I take a deep breath, right? And I come back to a place of heart-centeredness, right? I get out of my head and into this heart space. So you close your eyes and you take a deep breath and you say, okay, are we okay? Is this going to be okay? What do I need to know? What's going on? And that's where, for me, I get these messages of this has to happen. This has to break down in order for the new to come in. And it's going to be even better than ever before. But before the new can come in, we've got to see a destruction of the old. And it's going to look scary, but it's okay. So you have to keep yourself centered in that. So that's my message to you, because that's what I've been receiving. And you can get your own messages from the universe, but that's what I've been receiving, is that it is going to be okay. I'm one of those people who's like, how long? Okay, is this going to change? Because I'm really exhausted, tired of this. But the universe is saying, and it isn't going to be much longer, but time is irrelevant when it comes to the other side. Time is an earthly thing. So even when they say it's not going to be much longer, we don't know exactly what that means in our time. But I know that it isn't going to be a lot longer, and that our job here is to keep anchoring in the light and to be the light. And so sometimes that means you're going to have to walk away from the things that are scary. Just look away, take a step back, focus here inward, and learn how to shield yourself, just asking the universe to surround you with beautiful energy and light, and to disconnect from those things that are scaring you, and to maybe tune into channels that uplift you and to bring you hope. And, here on New Reality TV, if you're listening to this podcast is also available with the video on New Reality TV. And there are so many people there who are of the light, who are trying to bring in this beautiful energy and who are trying to uplift the collective. So maybe go check that out and see okay, where can I shift my energy so that I'm not afraid. I'm not being scared right now as to what's happening. And so with that, I thought that I would pull some cards for you from Angela Rose's deck. And these are the messages coming out from the universe right now and what they want you to know. And the first thing is gratitude, which I absolutely love because it's so easy to focus on all of the things that are going wrong in the world, but there are still a lot of things that are going right. And one of the things that I love to do is to scroll through TikTok. And of course, the breaking news that comes up. But also, my For You page is filled with beautiful people who are making a difference in the world. Like Michael's Learning Place is one that pops up on my feed, and I absolutely love it. It's a place, man, he founded this organization after his daughter in her memory, and they help people who maybe have developmental disabilities. They teach them to cook. They teach them to be baristas, and they have this little cafe and restaurant. It's so cute. And they do these videos all the time where the people who work there show us how they make their different dishes. And it's so cute and uplifting and positive. I urge you go check them out. But it's Michael, Mychael, I believe, Michael's Learning Place. Really, really cute, and just will fill your heart with joy. Lots of other videos like that pop up on my feed. I also really love Inheritance for Hope. They give families who maybe one of the parents has a terminal illness, they give families a last trip together. And I think it's such a great thing because we did that with my mom. We took one last trip to Disney. And I'm so glad we did that. Those are memories they make and will keep forever. So follow places and organizations like that to help you take your mind off of what's happening. Maybe volunteer, because that's another way we can raise our own vibration and also distract ourselves from the horrible things that are happening, because there are good things happening too. So gratitude. The feeling of gratitude elevates the cells in your body to vibrate higher. What brings you joy at this moment? Bask in the feeling it brings you. And yeah, that's so important. Every day, start with gratitude. When you start to feel that fear, look around you. What are 5 things that you're so grateful for right now? One of the things I love is I love coffee, right? That's every morning. I have to start with my coffee. And I know some people say, well, you don't drink coffee. That's a low vibrational. Whatever. Don't, you have to live your life. You have to love your life. For me, I love starting my morning with coffee, and it's like a ritual. I get my coffee, I go out, I water my plants, and I look at the flowers and look at the tomatoes and cucumbers that are growing, and I have my coffee, and the coffee tastes so good, right? And I'm so appreciative for having my morning coffee, being able to go out, water the plants, to spend time with my dogs, playing fetch with my dog. Those are things I'm grateful for. Okay, what are you grateful for? And then you have Braveheart. Growth is uncomfortable because it's new, and you may be feeling super uncomfortable right now. We have to, because new things are coming in. Growth is uncomfortable because it's new. You've never been here before. You are brave and courageous, so step confidently into your power. Life will expand with you. I love that. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of change. Excuse me. And then you have take up space. No more playing small. No more hiding. This world is calling for you to own your uniqueness. Show us who you are. Express yourself. You are divine just as you are now. You are ready. This is so spot on. The best way to be happy is just to be who you are. You don't have to hide who you are, change who you are. Just be you. Show up as yourself. And then you have Sacred Soul Journey. You're right where you're meant to be. The next best step will unfold to you. You are not meant to know all of the answers right now. Someday you will look back and everything will all make sense. It's going to unfold. You don't have to know that everything's going to be okay. You don't have to know how. You just have to know that it will, and trust that. And this is another way where when you start working with the universe, you can ask questions like, what do you need me to do right now? What should I be doing? What's the next best step? How can you guide me today? What should I do for the day? And we can get those little guidance like, oh, go here, do this, start that. When we work together with the universe, you create so much. You have soul no. Some of you are still letting others allow you to feel guilty and feel like you have to do things just to appease people, to help people. If it's a soul no, say no. Trust when you feel that something is not meant for you. You can say no with grace to yourself and others. If it doesn't feel good, it's not for you. Have confidence and trust in your decisions and choices. Trust in yourself. Trust in your own intuition. If you don't want to do something, no is a complete sentence, and you don't have to come up with an excuse. I used to do that all the time. Okay, I need to figure out what's a good excuse to say, no, I don't want to do this. Just trust that if you don't want to do it, don't do it, and just say no. And then step into the unknown. It's time to trust in the unknown. Have courage and be brave in this next shift. Trust that you know what's the next best step to take, and take it. You don't have to know what the outcome is going to be. Just take that step. And then you have rise. A seed needs the dirt to push against to grow to its fullest potential. Walk through this moment you're in. Trust that this situation is supporting your growth for the highest good. Some of you are being called to rise and to step forward into the unknown. And the universe is saying, time for you to stop playing small. Walk towards that. You don't have to know how it's going to end. Just have to trust us. And that's what the universe wants you to do right now. And the last card I pulled today is breathe. Oh my gosh, this is the most important thing. And most of us take it for granted because breathing is just a thing that we do. But the universe is saying, breathe. Stop what you're doing right now and just take a breath. Just place your hand over your heart. And feel the breath in your chest. Feel your chest rise as you take that deep breath in. And just release it. And as you release it, release all of the crap that you're holding on to that isn't helping you. Just breathe in and release it. Just release it. Let it go. There's nothing you need to do right now other than just exist. Just be here. Be in the now. Breathe your breath to the lowest part of your stomach. Feel your stomach expand. When we breathe, we lower anxiety and stress levels, and we come back into the in-flow feeling. And I pulled a card for myself earlier. I pulled it from this deck, and it said, let go, be in the flow. So maybe that's the mantra for you to say to yourself today. Just let go, be in flow. Take 3 deep breaths in through your nose and exhale out your mouth. Just be present with yourself today. The mantra that goes with this card is, I inhale love, I exhale peace. Let everything else go. Just be in flow state today. Being in flow means I'm not going to worry. For today, I'm just not going to worry about anything. I'm just not going to let worry creep in. There's nothing that I need to worry about. Everything has already been handled. The universe is already taking care of things on my behalf, and all I need to do is just exist and breathe in and breathe out and just be present with myself. What am I grateful for today? How can I live in joy today? Even if it's just for a little bit, how can I escape from what's happening and just live in joy and peace for right now? That's all you need to do. All right, guys, well, I want to thank you for being here with me today. I hope that helped you in some small way. Know that everything's going to be okay. It really, truly is. If you want to work with me, I offer so many ways to work with me. You can book a reading with me. I do 30-minute readings and hour readings. We can look at anything you want to look at in your life and try to get some clarity for you. I do healing sessions. I do hypnotherapy sessions. I do Reiki. I do past life regressions. You can book a session with me. I also do coaching. Maybe if you feel stuck in life and you're just looking for someone to help you work through things and help get you unstuck, get you on the right path, I can help you do that as well. All of those sessions are available on my website, melissaoatman.com, and the link to that is in the show notes. I can help you. If you want to work with me, you can just reach out to me, email me if you're not sure what you need, but just like to work with me, see what I offer. Reach out. You can see if we're aligned and can work together. My books are also available on Amazon. My first book, Beautifully Broken, is the story of how I got through a toxic marriage and I learned how to love myself again so that I could live a life that I absolutely love. So if that's you, grab a copy of that. My second book, Beautiful Mourning, A Guide to Life After Loss, is the story of losing my mom and others in my life, losing her to pancreatic cancer and working through the stages of grief to help you get back to living life again. I mean, grief doesn't have a timestamp. It doesn't have an expiration date. But this book hopefully helps you to work through some of the emotions, because if you listen to my podcast from last week, we talked about how emotions is energy in motion, and the emotions are supposed to move through us, not stay with us. And those emotions of grief, the guilt, the shame, the resentment that we feel sometimes after we've lost someone can get trapped in the body. So it helps you to work through it and get those emotions out. So those books are both available on Amazon, and they're also on audiobook. If you go to audiobooks.com, also on Spotify, pick up a copy, or if you know someone who needs this, maybe pick up a copy for them. Leave me a positive review here for wherever you're listening. That's the greatest compliment you can pay. And also to share this podcast with others. I hope you have an amazing week. I am sending you guys so much love and light. Just know that things are going to get better. And I love you guys. I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.